indeed. I'm Ned Poulter. I work for Quirk, a digital marketing agency in London, and my Twitter handle is @NedPoulter. Okay, it wasn't around when I was a kid, no. I actually wanted to be a fighter pilot when I was younger. I did, yeah, probably watching Top Gun too much, in a non-gay way.
Oh, okay, the jumpsuit.
Yes, yeah. And yeah, I came across it when I was doing a placement year, when I was still studying. I worked at Warner Brothers and came across it kind of by accident. And since then, I just I'm a bit of a geek in my spare time. I used to build computers when I was younger, so yeah, so I kind of fell into it by accident and love it because it keeps me on my toes all the time.
A lot of people have said that today, they've fallen into it by accident. I think it's really one of the stalwarts of SEO. I think you find it, right, don't you? Or it finds you, whatever.
Definitely. I completely agree, yeah. It's probably because it changes all the time. It's kind of, I always see it as quite academic, how you really do have to do your reading. So, and literally if you go cold on your reading for 2 weeks even, you can be miles behind in what's up to date. So it's quite nice because being someone who's kind of newer to the industry than some of the guys who've been here today, for example, it's great because you can still make an impression because you can do really new stuff, you can test things that people probably haven't done yet. And you get to kind of make a name for yourself quite easily.
It's that sort of industry. It's quite a young industry, so there's plenty of opportunities within it.
Yeah, it's a great industry actually because it's quite collegial. Events like Brighton SEO, like Possibility, SaaSCon, when you go to them, you genuinely meet friends so that you've known from the industry, and you can talk about some of the stuff that you're working on. Maybe not everything. Don't let go of all of the secrets, but it's a lot of people share a lot, which is really good. Like it's so easy to be in an industry where people aren't just keeping things behind closed doors and they're quite willing to share.
It's great to have that openness, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Is there anything that you don't really like about the SEO industry?
It would probably be there's quite a lot that you read about kind of the negative aspects of SEO and how we're viewed as an industry as well. So it's probably a negative thing. I think it's changing now. I think it's starting to become, well, very much, it's becoming a real boom in marketing. The marketing spend is getting dedicated towards SEO because it provides tangible results.
Yes, yeah.
And luckily, I think because there's big agencies that actually their sole revenue comes from SEO now. I think it's a great position, and we've got rid of a lot of the cowboys that were doing it in their bedroom and spinning links and stuff like this through content farms. So, and I think a major reason for that is probably the search engines like Google and the updates like Panda 3.5, like Penguin, that are cracking down on keeping their index clean, basically. So they're getting rid of these cowboys, and unless they really know what they're doing, they're getting completely blown out of the water.
So you think this could potentially be a positive aspect for SEOs,
I do, yeah. I always kind of explain myself as a bit of a digital hippie because I spend a lot of time on the internet, and I genuinely, I'm very invested in it. I do spend a huge amount of time on my computer, and I am a complete geek. So I say a digital hippie because I think when you're on Google, you don't want bad results coming up when you're searching for things, or spammy results or anything like that. You're genuinely looking for something. So if I can search something and it provides me the content that I'm looking for, it makes my life easier. So if I can do that for my clients as well.
Right, exactly.
So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so what we normally do with our setup for clients is we do a full site audit, and that goes, depending on the size of the site or the level of investment that they're going for, we do really quite a technical SEO audit, and we dig really deep. We produce IP documentation for this, but I think probably our second point is that education is really, really important in SEO. So our second point would be to actually take that documentation in, but sit down and go through it with them, because we work with a lot of clients from a variety of industries, some of which know very little, or at least did know very little when they started. And since we've been working with them, it's literally been like acting like a teacher for them, and teaching them about SEO, why we're recommending these things. And the third thing would probably be investigate their link profile with Penguin Update. Check that they've got no bad links. Check that if they haven't, there was an incumbent SEO agency that they haven't been doing bad stuff that we're going to get blamed for 6 months down the road when everything goes wrong.
Okay, that does definitely make a lot of sense. It really does, as you say, because you don't want to be answering questions for agencies that have been a little bit naughty.
It's quite hard to. I never want to do that for a client anyway. I don't want to turn around and say, "Oh, it's someone else's fault." There's got to be an explanation. But sometimes it's harder if it's found out a bit later on, because they will still point the finger. So. Well, I think part of the education thing that I was saying, I think value-wise, reporting's a really interesting point at the moment for SEOs, because a lot of people do it in a very pre-prepared manner, and they will just post it out, it will go to their marketing manager at their client, and they'll get a couple of figures off the report, and that'll be it. That's all they need it for, and they think that's enough. But we always try to strive at Quirk to give them more than that. We actually don't even report for them until we've sat down and had a discovery session with them and discovered actually basically what their website's for. And that's always the first question that I ask them, because you'd be surprised the amount of clients that genuinely don't know the answer to that question, and we go, okay guys, come on, why are you even investing in us as an SEO agency when you've got this great website now? You don't even know what it's for. So I think that's kind of a vital thing. Okay, genuinely, and that's why I think it's really important to have a technical point of view, is links. 404 pages, whether soft or hard 404s, and mislinks, redirection, and or duplicated content across a number of domains, which you wouldn't believe some of the instances where you see that and you go, guys, you've got 90 domains and you've copied all your content off your website onto every single one of them. It's like, so I normally call it tightening your belt when we're approaching projects like this, and it's basically well, there's link everything there anyway. It's just put it into one asset. You're not going to start out a shop on the high street and automatically open 90 shops on the high street all doing the same thing. Doesn't make sense. Just put it in one shop and do it really well. Read would pretty much be my sole point of advice. The second one would be build a website, play with it. I think some of the talks that I saw at Brighton SEO were great, because they basically said, don't ever trust an SEO if he's never built a website. And this doesn't mean hard coding, this doesn't mean from scratch. In fact, I wouldn't bother doing it if you're starting out. By all means have a look into it, but just invest in WordPress. Know what it takes to register a domain and to put WordPress installed on it, and produce some content and optimize the site, pretty important, right? Do things like stick a robots.txt file on there, play around with that, XML sitemap, HTML sitemap, whatever it may be. Just literally get hands-on and do it yourself, because one of the main points for someone starting out is that you can then take that as a portfolio into your interview.
Exactly, that's what
and as an employer, I would look at that and I'd dig a little deeper, and that's massive.
No, of course, that's it. So if you're going into an interview with this already there, then it's already maybe 50% more than what a lot of people do, I would imagine.
Completely.
Exactly. So somebody who's proactive and is going to be looks at a lot more favourably than somebody who just comes in with just a CV.
And then I think it's kind of one-on-one of networking as well. If you're going into an interview, do a bit of reading about who you're going to go and meet or the company. Again, you would be surprised the people that turn up and don't have a clue what you do as an agency, and you just go, it's like you're looking for a job, like even so much, and it sounds a bit stalkerish, but find out if they're on Twitter, follow them on Twitter, and if they went on holiday last week, ask them how their holiday was, or they've got a nice dog or something. Try and make a common ground with that.
Well, I suppose that makes a lot of sense in the fact that social is quite an important element. If they're already involved in that, then it's going to be something that's going to work for you guys as well.
Okay. I really don't want to say it, but I will. Content is king. Don't be afraid to invest in content. A lot of people, and I think what's important here is obviously proving the worth of that content. So actually make a report on that content that you've invested money in.
Okay.
See how many social shares it's got, see how many links it's acquired for, see what conversation it's developed.
Yeah.
It's a really, really important tool. And nowadays you just can't get this cheap, nasty content to do that job for you, which is a good thing. So invest in good content and secure a good copywriter. I'm very privileged to work with our social media manager, who's also a copywriter at Quirk, and she's pretty inspirational. You can give her anything from legal firm serious contact page details to write out to a craft beer blog, which she can write about, and honestly she writes stuff that I want to read. So invest in good copy. It's a tough one. I think as an agency, we actually never outsource our social media work. We may be in a situation where the client actually wants to do it, so we will educate them and work with them with it. But I think it's so key to have a good voice in social media that you really, really don't need to externalise it, because you will lose that. And at the end of the day, you've got to be honest and you've got to represent yourself in a really kind of genuine way. Otherwise, you will be found out.
No,
so keep it as close to home as possible, I'd say.
Okay.
And not outsource it. Good question. It's something which I've been looking at myself a lot, actually, because obviously to develop my career, what are the kind of things that I want to spend time on? I think it's vital as SEOs existing to have a technical knowledge, and like I said, that doesn't mean to be able to build a website from scratch, but have an insight. Things like micro formats, marking up your data correctly is a definite step in the right direction. The use of APIs, building tools through APIs, and being able to be comfortable with that as well. Another really important thing. So those are the two things I'd definitely say to look out for. I think they're going to be very important. I also think video is going to be increasingly important as well. It is coming into our lounge, whether we like it or not. Google are looking at investing in the television market. Apple are looking at investing in the television market, keeps being said. Essentially, TVs are now computers, so the internet is there. So video is massive. I would say that Warner Brothers are one of our clients.
Oh, okay.
So, and I did actually work at Warner Brothers, but I mean, it's an engaging format, right? It's better than written. Some people they used to sit and watch the TV for 5 hours a night.
It's a major part of everybody's life. It's been a major part of everyone's life for the last 50 years.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So why not on the internet?
Yeah, quite, exactly. Yeah.